Invisibility is a fate far worse than failure. Make sure that you're visible. That small skill that you have, everyone around you
Should
know
know.
it. Yeah. Influencing does not just mean commanding a huge number of following. Sometimes people just get a number of following, but they do not have the connection. So what keeps your audience alive to your content? I would like to inspire young girls to walk on my path, and as I say, when I fall, do not feel bad about it. Learn from my mistakes, and then amplify my strength and use them to chart your legacy.
Good evening and welcome to the Late Night Business. My name is Ian Dennis, and tonight we have a very interesting show lined up because we're going to be addressing an issue that literally all entrepreneurs actually face. How am I able to literally communicate my business using social media and all the other avenues to literally get my message out? And tonight I have with me an entrepreneur in this particular sector, a communication expert. Actually one of the few PhD students that are actually having on the show that I'll be having this conversation with. But before I get to introduce my guest, I'd like to let you know that we're having a masterclass on the 4th of April with Michael Joseph at the Nairobi Cinema. So I want all of you guys to get your tickets. You can get your tickets for only 800 bob at madfund.com. And also, as always, we are recording right here at the Capital Club, the place that you need to be as an entrepreneur, because the interesting thing about being a member of the Capital Club is not only the rich network that you actually be able to get access to, but also the different amenities that you can get access to. The lady I'm about to have a conversation with is literally, I've never had this name before, Cebbie. My goodness, you know, just telling us, JSK jina pali popote, hata kwa Biblia, Old Testament, hakuna Cebbie. There's only one Cebbie, but you actually all know her as Cebbie Koks, because that's the brand name that she uses on social media. Karibu sana to the show.
Thank you.
Looking quite good.
Asante sana.
Well, you look so chilled and relaxed.
I am chilled. I am chilled.
No, but pleasure meeting you. I think I've just seen you on social media so many different times. So when the producer told me you're coming on the show, I was like, oh wow, finally you get to meet. Because you think you know someone through social media, but unless you have a sit down with them.
Absolutely.
The first question I like starting all conversations with, what exactly are you most grateful for today?
I would say life, health, and basically strength to just wake up, leaving your bed and walking around.
The little things that you take for granted.
Yeah, those ones, and breathing. Yeah.
Interesting. Let me just take you back, because I know we always look at you from where you are, but let me just take you back in terms of your upbringing. Why did your interest in entrepreneurship start? Why did you find this particular interest in entrepreneurship that you finally managed, probably now that you're setting up different particular entities? Where did this interest start off?
I would say that in the space of communication and public relations, when I actually hit the undergrad, I felt like it's important that I channel something towards that direction that would actually not just employ the youth, but also give me an income. So from that communication and PR, I decided with time I will have my own company. And at the second year, together with my friends, we came up with a very small farm, no experience, no skills at all, and we actually approached Toyota with that kind of a booklet.
So what did you do? So what was the farm about? What was the idea? That's interesting.
We talked to someone from the cyber and told them, write to us a proposal. We are having a company called Chelsea. And this company, Chelsea. Chelsea.
Oh, Chelsea.
So
I thought it was a football team.
No, Chelsea. So it had three musketeers, 3 girls. So we approached this particular person in a cyber and told them, please, could you create for us a profile and a proposal? We want to approach big brands. Then that is in 2012. So we went to Toyota because we had some friends there and told them, we have a proposal for Toyota. My goodness.
So what did you want to do for them?
We wanted to be their PR consultant.
And you guys were in second year?
Second year, no skills, no experience, nothing at all. Then I think from there, I developed sort of interest in business. And that's when I started sharpening my skills. And now, of course, the birth of social media, which amplifies a lot of stuff. I felt it was important that I use my space to create businesses,
Yeah.
to create employment,
Yeah.
and to equip people with different skills. So that is
You've
literally
yeah.
how I came
You got into it. So university was the spark to everything.
Yeah.
So what did you do for undergrad? And because I know, what's it called? Maybe take us. What did you do for undergrad? And as everybody, you know, when you're growing up, everybody used to say, "I want to be a doctor." Lakini mama marks kafanya tusikue madaktari.
Yeah.
For you, what exactly did you want to be, and how did you end up doing communication?
When I was young, actually, I wanted to be an air traffic controller.
Air traffic controller.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How even did you know air traffic controller? Even who knows that?
Then it moved to because I fancied those beautiful girls in the plane and all that, you know, and you look at the magazines, you see the air hostess and all that. So I thought I would be some air hostess somewhere. But the moment I got experience with the flights and planes and all that, the dream just shattered because I knew I'm not cut for heights. I'm not there. I'm not in that space. And then definitely after Form 4, I wanted to be a communication and I wanted to be in communication or journalism. But then at undergrad, so I took communication and public relations and literally stuck to communication. So yeah.
Interesting. And where did this interest start? Is it something that you had seen around you, or why did this interest come about? Because communication was not part of the core tier careers that you grew up being told, like be an engineer, be a doctor, be what. Why did this interest come about?
I think one, because I'm expressive and I knew I'm an outgoing person and I love to talk. I can talk the whole day. So I said communication is my part. I don't think I want to be sitting in an office somewhere and calculating maths. Maths, I was not good in it, so I was never going to be anywhere close to that. So yeah.
You just count your money.
Yeah, so I was just like, no, I can just count the money.
You count your money and your blessings.
Yeah, and I knew I'm an outdoor person. And the only thing that would actually put me where I am today was communication. And that is how I came by.
Interesting.
And through my mentors as well, people that I looked up to, people who were literally holding me all through, I knew communication is my side.
Interesting. You've mentioned about mentorship. Who exactly were your mentors and how did they hold you through this journey?
I would say my mentor, start with my, the primary mentor was Dr. John Olwach. He's a communication expert, currently the director KOPS. Professor Charles Ongondo, who was my referee and my mentor literally in communications as well. And then people in PR like the Gina Dean, Karaoke. Those are people that I looked up to, the late Lona Irungu. So that kind of mentorship lineup literally positioned me into the place where I wanted to be. Yeah, but the people that I'd had one-on-one contact with were the Professor Charles Ongondo and Dr. John Olwach. Who pushed me further. Interesting.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you did your undergrad at what's it called, Moore University, and then after Moore University, did you get into employment? Did you get into business straightforward? How exactly was your journey, and how did you morph to where exactly you are right now?
Okay. After undergrad, I worked with Governor Press Unit in Migori County.
Interesting. How was the experience working in the county government?
I felt like there was no career growth for me as a person. And that is the only reason why I halted that and decided to start my master's. Because I stayed there, I did not see the opportunity of growth. I did not see the challenge that I needed. I didn't see myself as spreading my roots further. So in 2016, that is in 2014 to 2015 to 2016. Then in 2016, I started my master's, came to Nairobi to get my master's in international relations because I felt like, how can I diversify the communication? So I got into international relations, graduated in 2019. But before my graduation, I started Virtual 21, the PR company. Within the Virtual 21, we deal with media relations, we deal with PR, marketing, advertisement, influencer research, and influencer management. Then I became one of the influencers, definitely because of the platform and the social media following. So I started with small brands to definitely major ones that we consult for. So I started with InStyle Shoe Kenya. They identified me. Then from InStyle Shoe Kenya, I moved to Louis Boutique, which is a boutique with 3 branches in Nairobi. I think it's one of the best leading. Then I did a lot of brands in terms of influencing and in terms of social media management, social media marketing. So after that, I also ventured into beauty industry after realizing that some of these things you just need to jump in. I mean, cold water does not get warmer if you jump in late. True. I just jumped into the beauty industry and established Ritz in Elba, that is in Kisumu. I felt there was a gap of that kind of class that I was bringing into the space. Then now, recently we birthed Declutter with Cebbies. And the reason why Declutter is because I felt like people in let me say celebrities or noticeable figures, we attend a lot of functions, and some of these clothes that you wear, or some of these are just once, and I felt like no, you cannot have a whole wardrobe of clothes that you will not put on.
Especially ladies.
Yeah, especially ladies, because I don't think I will ever rewind or repeat.
Plus, we don't care. You can repeat the same suit for 10 years.
Yeah, the same suit. Your wedding suit, you can wear it everywhere.
Yes. Our wedding suit, will still wear it the following day, confess.
Yeah. So I felt like bringing that space would work, and definitely I have a good vision for that. I would have it with a website and an app segmented into different sections, the fashion, the household, furnitures and all that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that also just shortly, because I've also seen that. Let me get to just what's it called, Virtual 21. First of all, where did the name come from? I think I was joking earlier on. I thought it was Justin Siokimau. Well, Siokimau, one since 2021 inspired. 2021, probably. Where did that name come from? Why Virtual 21?
I felt like we are in the 21st century, and I was looking at something youthly, something that describes us, and also it's actually hinged to my dream back in the campus. I told you that I wanted to have it. I was 21 then when I wanted to have the company app. So it's intertwined with the century, and actually the time that dream was getting alive in me. Interesting.
And going about executing this and maybe bringing this idea to light probably years much later on, did you go about it alone, or did the 3 friends you started with earlier on are also part of this particular journey?
No, I went alone. I literally went alone into it. And we are 5 so far. I believe we are destined to growth. Yeah.
Interesting. And one of the core services that you've mentioned that you offer is social media influencing and social media management. And I think we're in that era whereby there's a lot of influencers, maybe influencers are coming into place. So first of all, getting into this, this industry whereby right now so many people are into it, how have you managed to maneuver your way around it?
I would say that having been in that industry, we have a lot of influencers, but we also have good influencers. Influencing does not just mean a good influencer, or an influencer does not mean just commanding a huge number of following. There's what constitutes of a good influencer. Number 1, their audience. Right. Number 2 is their flexibility, their relatability, and their authenticity. So not everybody that call themselves influencers are actually influencers. We have the age group. For example, if you are looking for an influencer, as what we do in our company, if we are going to give some of our services in terms of influencer marketing and research and marketing and management, there are things that we consider, like the age group, their proximity, their authenticity, how they relate with their audience, how that audience is built. You understand? Yeah. Sometimes people just get a number of following, but they do not have the connection. So what keeps your audience alive to your content.
Interesting.
Those are some of the things that we look at. So we just don't say there's a lot of influencers. There are so many influencers. Everyone can be an influencer.
Everybody, just have a few people.
But what is it that makes you a good influencer? And then the second one is, of course, we deal with digital marketing. Recently, we had what we call Fungua na Kuja, a program that is scaled down to help startups, the upcoming entrepreneurs, the young people with talents to digitalize that particular skill. So we are helping them on how to maneuver through social media, how to package, how to do branding, how to grow followers, and basically how to create content. Because also we have a lot of content creators, but that is not just content is not just posting something and thinking I'm a content creator.
I think that's what most guys think.
Yeah, there's so much that go into being a content creator or a good content. And a good content, we say it must also sell. It must speak to your audience. Because what is it? How would you be a good content creator if what you put out there is something that Ian cannot internalize?
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you'd mentioned something earlier on around influencing. You'd mentioned around audiences. You'd mentioned in terms of relatability. Maybe just let's delve in there, because I think we're in an era whereby anybody who dances online gets followers, whatever, it becomes an influencer. But how does one become a key influencer who can actually commercialize it? Because I think having numbers doesn't mean you have money.
Yes. One, authenticity. How authentic are you? Are your followers able to point out who Ian is as a person? And number two is the relatability. How do you relate with that particular product if I was to pick Ian as an influencer? I always see a lot of brands make a lot of mistakes when it comes to picking on influencer. They think the huger the number, the better. But I will tell you, like, if you are going to do things to do with kitchen, you're better placed when you're dealing with someone who relates, who people can relate with. They're doing their cooking in the kitchen. I mean, I don't want to see Ian in the kitchen trying to convince me that that unga is good. I would buy it if Beryl told me this unga. Like, it's just normal thing. That's what I call relatability, or a family setup sort of.
So how the personality of the person is and how does it relate to that?
Yes, how they can sync or how they can marry it. Because when I see you, of course this is not gender war, please. But when
it's the reality.
It's the reality. When I see you do it, I would be like, you're paid to do that. But when I see, for example, a fellow woman doing, say, okay, could be this unga is good, for example. And number three is also what we call the audience. The younger you are, the younger the audience. The older you are, the older the audience. Because again, relatability intertwines. Because if I'm going to do things to do with anti-aging products, and then I'm looking for young tags, of course, sometimes it can start from that, but the people that you're looking for, what is your target audience? So the target audience determines the age of the influencer or the following of the influencer that you're looking for.
Interesting. So someone, because I think in an era where anybody can become famous at any particular point and quote unquote becomes an influencer, how can one become strategic in this particular journey? Let's say, what's it called? I'm a dancer, because I think every young person right now is a dancer. And then everybody dances and then becomes a David Moyer all of a sudden. So how can one become strategic to make it a business? Because you've mentioned there's an aspect that you have to become prepared to meet these particular commercial opportunities. So how can one prepare to this particular journey?
I always say that make sure you cut your niche, know your true north, where you're going. Now you have this following, of course, maybe through scandal or something. What you need to do, number one, is packaging. What are you looking at? What problem do you want to solve as a person? And we say the 3 Ps, the problems that you want to solve. What are you doing as a dancer or as someone with a lot of huge, or someone with huge following? What do you want to, how do you want to help people? Which industry? Because you can't be a killer kitu enterprise. I always say when you're a killer kitu enterprise, there's a way it devalues your worth. So look at what you want to do. Look at your packaging. Look at your branding. Can people relate with you? Can people see Ian and be able to tell exactly what you do or who you are or where you want to be? So do you want to influence in the fashion industry? There's something that you're good at as a person. That is what you need to put out there now, considering you have the huge following.
Interesting.
And again, I would say that authenticity works a lot with social media. When you lose yourself, you totally lose everything. So you need to remain authentic so that it keeps you sane and so that it also keeps you through the path that you want to go to, if you are an influencer or if you by chance get to become famous.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I need to mention this first of all. We have different types of influencers. We have micro influencers, we have macro influencers, and we have celebrities. All these three have different category of their worth, and I can tell you for sure, all of not the celebrities and the micro. Remember I mentioned three.
Micro, yes.
They totally occupy different space. And their benefits also are different. If you are a startup, I need to mention this.
So what's a micro?
Micro are the people between the 50,000 followers to maybe 100. And then the yes, and then the 100 maybe from 150 to 200 or 300. And then the celebrities are now 500 and above.
Oh, so primarily the measurement is in terms of the following.
The following. Now, if you are a startup, I would tell you that for sustainability, avoid the huge number, because you will not afford their red card. And you know, marketing begets consistency. If you cannot afford celebrity paying them per month to hone or to talk about you on social media, then why pay once? I mean, social media is so fast. So if you pay this person once and they just post you, okay? The next day he's posting something else. People already forgot about you. So if you're a startup, make sure that you stick to micro or macro, as long as you can sustain, as long as your budget can withstand, so that you get the benefit of consistency. Because if this person with 50,000 is consistently talking about Ian and the book, Ian and the book, it's better than Cebbies saying Ian in the book. So the consistency around it also depends on how influencers need to move.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
So I think at that particular juncture, we're going to take a short commercial break. And as Cebbie was saying, Ian and the book, so my 2 books are actually out. I just shamelessly plug myself anywhere. So you can actually get them on Textbook Center. First called The Business Conquest. The fourth is by the late Christy Ruby. It's all about business. The second one is called Food for Thought, and primarily thoughts around life and business. There's so much to learn from it. So I'll see you after the break. Welcome back to the show. Before we went on a break, Cebbie just bringing to us what the different groupings of influencers. So you talked about celebrity influencers, micro influencers, and micro influencers, and primarily you categorize them based on the number of following that one has. But the big question is that, because in an era where people buy followers, and in Kenya you can become controversial and get followers so fast and quote unquote move to a macro influencer. But the key thing is the business behind it. How does one get to the money?
Wow, I would say that your audience reflects your purchasing power. So if you want to become an influencer, or if you are an influencer, you need to know the demographics. And this one, social media provides it really well. The professional dashboard, when you look at the interface of your professional dashboard, you will find the number of people that follow you, male, female, age group, and all that. So when you look at that, you also need to know that sometimes we call it just piloting. Try and see how they relate with you, what you talk about. Trust me, the things that you put out there as a content creator or as an influencer determines your purchasing power, and it will give you a guideline on whether you can monetize, whether you can monetize your audience, or whether you can monetize social media. And also the aspect of monetization of social media, whether you're going through the channel of monetization or just being the influencer part. For you to become an influencer, I always say, I reiterate, make sure that your content is informative. Your content is solving a problem. Your content is conversational with this, because I realized that people buy relationship. People just don't buy something because you put it out there. They buy these things how they relate with you. And that is why you'll realize sometimes people will say, I'm just buying it because, hey, I love so and so. So make sure that you create, you foster a community of engagement with your audience. Make sure you relate with them, and make sure you actually sieve through the conversations and get to know how you relate with them. With this, you can actually monetize your skills on social media really well.
And we always presume, because what's it called? Everybody's, formula to monetization. It's usually, oh, let me get followers, let me become quote unquote famous, and then I get brands on board. But besides brands, what are the other mediums that one can use to monetize their particular following?
If all the social media pages, you can still, there's I saw one, I've not read about it a lot, that you can subscribe and maybe pay some money to pay some money as people watch your content and all that. There's also TikTok. People are getting a lot of money on TikTok. I'm really not big
on TikTok. You dance, you get the lions and what?
Yes, the lions and all that, the gifting part. People still make money out of it. But I would say that being famous is not a synonym to being rich.
They're worlds apart.
Yeah, they're worlds apart. And sometimes you might do everything to get the number of following, but now how do you cut through to make sure that you're getting money? That's why I always say that consistency is key, and knowing your true north, knowing where you're going to, your niche, makes it better. If you're into dancing and you're dancing on TikTok and you want to be a professional dancer and all that, that makes sense because you're still on the path. But you can't be dancing to become famous to be a pastor, for example. Not that pastors do not dance, but I'm saying just in terms of, because our audience reflect what we feed them with. And that is why buying followers is actually discouraged. I don't like when people buy followers, or I do not like. In fact, in my class, I always tell people that start by one, brick by brick. If you have a huge following behind you as Cebbie Koks and you're opening a business, start from one follower to second follower, because what my audience feed on is not the business I'm bringing on board. You understand? So buying followers, it means you're buying audience that are already used to something else, not what you're bringing on board. And that is why I believe that one follower to second follower to third follower, for these people to follow you, it is the content that you're creating out there. And therefore, stick to that content. Open a business page away from who you are, and then use your own page to market that particular page, all right? And make sure that when people follow that page, it is they're following that page because you're selling glasses. They're following that page because you're selling books on that page. They're not following Cebbie for gossips. And then you want to buy Cebbie's page to sell glasses. I mean, what is the information there?
All right, and that's something interesting that you've brought up. How do you, separate the two? Because you yourself, people follow you for you, but you also have your businesses. Where do you draw the separation? Because, primarily people follow people, people buy from people, but where do you draw the difference?
What I do is this. I use my own page to market my businesses. I mentioned I have 3.
Yes.
The Ritzy Nail Bar, the Virtual 21, and the Declutter with Cebbie. So what happens is this. The audience that follow me for my own content, I try to inform them about the business that I have. And when they move to the business and follow the business, it means that they connect with it. So turning my page today and say, Ritzy Nail Bar, I mean, you'll lose touch, you'll lose face completely, because that is not the reason why you are following Cebbie. You are following Cebbie for something else. I don't know why I don't know why they follow me, but I feel during my research, I asked why they follow me. I saw people say academics, some say fashion, others said, okay, they just love me, or personality and all that. So they are following the academic journey, they are following the personality, they are following the humor. For example, I speak Luo a lot on Facebook.
You teach me Luo.
Crack jokes. So
that is
so they are following that. So I cannot change that page into declutter with Cebbies.
Yeah.
Because where's the fashion, people who are following me for fashion going to? Where are those who are following me for academic journey going to? So that is why I say, make sure that you detach. You have your own person, because you are still Cebbies, despite alongside your business. So use your page to market your businesses.
Interesting. And one of the core things around businesses, and an important factor around businesses, is the aspect of building a brand, because a brand is literally the business. From where you sit and primarily from your experience and your understanding, how can one best build their brand on social media? What does one need to do? Is posting enough for you to build a brand? What does one need to do in order to build a big brand?
Whoa. Okay, I always say this. For you to build a brand, one, you must know the problem you're solving. Because all of us, I would only get to you if I want my problem solved. So the problem you are solving in the industry. Number two, get to know your competitors. Do competitor analysis. What is it? Who are you facing in the industry? Number three, it's the consistency. Trust me, consistency is the in thing. Yeah,
because it's difficult, but it's
and especially when no one is clapping for you.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yes. But I would say that be consistent with it. And number four, which is the key thing, is packaging and branding.
What's packaging? You've mentioned packaging several times. What does packaging mean? Is packaging putting makeup and looking good? What's packaging?
Well, packaging is more of optical. What we want to know. What makes you distinct, what makes you more compelling from your competitors or from the rest of the people. So if your packaging is, you must make sure that your packaging comes with your logo, it comes with your corporate colors, it comes with your branding, what you're known for, the slogan, the catchy slogan. Of course, nowadays we have the hashtag and phrases, you know. So that is what we call the packaging aspect. Then the branding now is the coloring that comes with it, your the infographics, the posters that you put out there that talks about you, the key messaging, how you put your words, the choice of words that you use, and the strategies that you execute with your idea is what we call packaging and branding. And it's a key thing in building a very strong brand. We always say that brands that survive are not the ones with the wit, with the most intelligent expertise, but those ones that are actually can respond to change, those ones that are responsive to change. Are they malleable? Are they able to change? Are they able to jump into different ideas? And that is what we say. Caveat, if your brand is having a problem, I always say that from the beginning of business, it's also okay to lose hope, by the way.
Why are you discouraging people?
I'm not discouraging people. When I'm talking about lose hope, is because, you know, I saw an analogy that was very interesting. This side has a lot of fish, this side does not have fish, but the person is in the middle. So this person continuously...
Oh, fish is on one side.
Yes, which there is no fish. So that one, consistency does not help this person. So when I'm talking about lose hope, is I'm talking about refocus and learn and relearn.
All right, I understand you.
That's what I mean.
There's this guy also on social media, so if you want to give up, you just give up.
No. It means that stay put, look at where you're going wrong, refocus, re-strategize, because literally it's not the ideas that make us rich. It is the execution of those ideas that make us rich.
All right, and so let's say for someone, because I think we touched into this earlier on, so I'm a business and primarily I'm trying to look for an influencer. You're saying, or rather you're advising that one goes for a micro or a macro. Why exactly is that so? And does an entrepreneur going for an influencer means that they're going to get conversions for their business? Does it ordinarily mean so, or is it just for brand visibility?
As an entrepreneur, if you're going for influencers, one thing you must have is your goals. What is your objective, number one? And your goals must be true to what you want to achieve. Are you looking at brand visibility or brand awareness? Are you looking at conversion? sales, that is, or leads? Are you looking at website visit? This one must align first. Then number 2 is your budget. What is your budget? Your budget determines who you're going for, whether it's a micro, macro, and celebrities, because all of them have different rate cards. I would say the macro are very affordable, and therefore for startups, it's always important that you use the micro, because you're able to pay them and they're able to give you the consistency. Don't make a mistake of just going for influencer because one, you think you want to sell. Influencers always give people wide range of promises, and then they end up falling apart. Not because the influencer has a problem, but because you as an entrepreneur, you as a brand, you did not align your goals with your budget. What is your goal? I'm looking for Cebbie to help me put this out there. Are you looking for awareness? So if you're looking for awareness and visibility, it means the strategy of the influencer will change, will be different. If you're looking for conversion into sales, the strategy again is different. So the entrepreneur and the influencer must have a sit down, align your goals together with the skills they are bringing on board or the services. Tell them what you think is right. Come up with strategies that will align with your objectives.
Oh, interesting. Also something that you mentioned around rate cards, and I think it's always an issue. Everybody wants to this rate card, or I'm going to charge this, I'm this influencer, this is my what. What determines a rate card?
One is your purchasing power. I don't think you have business giving me a higher rate card if I will not get value for my money.
So purchasing power in terms of your
audience. Purchasing power in terms of your audience. Your ability to bring value to products or brands should determine your rate card. Okay? Otherwise, rate card, even anyone else can have a rate
everybody
card.
wakes up with a rate card.
So purchasing power, the ability to bring value to the audience, and number 3, say the value add. What are you doing, or what are you bringing on board as a person? I would be having 300,000 followers with 7 million impressions, but my rate card is as low as 30,000 per month because of the audience that I have or the value that I'm bringing. If I am only bringing you awareness and visibility, it means you know as a brand that I'm taking Cebbie and she's bringing for me just the awareness part. And that one is actually done with the gurus. Do not just pick an influencer. Make sure that you have someone that can tell you the demographics, the audience that Cebbie commands, whether they can buy stuff. The reason why I rarely change my brands, the ones that work with me, is that I know I have high purchasing power. They might not talk to me, but I get all that kind of feedback. And as a brand, one thing that you need to do also is make sure that you get influencers feedback from the people they've worked with before. What are some of the feedback they are getting? Because if you ask InStyle Shoe Kenya today whether they are getting value, they will tell you, I don't think we've worked with an influencer like Cebbie, like people buy. If you ask Louis Boutique, they will tell you the same. They said people send us photos, exact photo like this one, the same color. So that kind of, when I'm going to another brand, I'm able to lift that kind of feedback and share, and that is how you know the influencer you're picking is going to give you value.
And something interesting that you've mentioned in terms of value. So for you have two hats. You have your own business and you're still also an influencer that particular era. So let's speak about one of your, the salon business that you have. How have you been able to, you being an influencer, have you influenced the business? Does it correlate?
Yes. I would tell you that I think my business worked because of me being an influencer or me being out there.
So you're the influencer for your business?
Yes, I'm the influencer, I'm the manager and the marketer of the place. Because since I've been working with other staff, I know how to execute strategies, I know what works, I know how to create content for that particular business. I would tell you that if I was not in the limelight, I would not attempt that kind of business. And therefore, Ritzy is what it is because of my skills, me being in the limelight, and also the strategies that we execute.
And what got you to starting Ritzy, by the way?
Sorry?
What got you starting, made you found Ritzy How did that come about? Because you're into communication, that's the industry you've been in that particular business, then you diversified to this other industry. How did that come about?
First of all is the influence that I have on social media. I felt like, wow, I can do something with this, because I'm not into business, beauty at all. I don't even know how to do hair. But I felt like I have a space, and I had marketed beauty businesses before, and I saw how much traffic I drove into that, and I felt like this is an inspiration, like why not do mine as a person, and that is how I started Ritzy. And also when I did my research in Kisumu, I wanted to have a class of Nairobi, but in Kisumu.
But Kisumu is, they say it's London.
Yeah, so
the class is there.
Yeah, so I wanted to I wanted to sieve through and just place that there. That's how I came up with the beauty. The Ritzy nail bar and the Baba. Of course, now we are with the Baba. It started with the nail bar first, then now it has expanded to salon and to Baba. Through social media, through marketing, through execution of strategies, and also the reason why it's thriving when I'm away is because I trust my employee. I've given them the power to make decisions. Because if I'm not working with trust, surely I would not be able to do that. I always tell them that, you know what, I don't depend on Ritzy, it doesn't feed me. It feeds you, it has created an opportunity for you. Ukianguka, mimi nitafunga mlango, nitarudi Nairobi, wewe utakosa kazi.
Interesting. And how do you juggle between all this? Because also something interesting about you also pursuing your PhD, and you speak about it earlier on. How do you do, first of all, you're doing a PhD, you're pursuing a PhD in what? Maybe for the audience, for the benefit.
All right, PhD in corporate communications, and I've published papers. I would like people to check my website, aworkokeo.co.ke. It has a lot of beautiful articles and beautiful journey. I would like to inspire young girls to walk on my path, and as I say, when I fall, do not feel bad about it, learn from my mistakes, and then amplify my strength and use them to chart your legacy.
So interesting. So you're doing your PhD, you're running Ritzy, you're running Virtual One, what's it called? You're an influencer and so many other different things. What have you learned about time, and how do you manage your time to do all these things? Because I know doing a PhD, I did my master's last year. Mr. Kikona, I don't want to go back to the classroom for at least for another 1 year, because I know how demanding that thing is. How do you manage your time through all these things? Because I try to imagine PhD is even much more stressful than a master's.
It is. I would say time management. All these things do not depend on me fully. For example, Ritzy does not depend on me at all. He doesn't even need my time. He just needs me to post on social media and maybe do a few checkups in the evening. Virtual 21 needs me fully because I'm the lead trainer there, and it's because of passion, so I don't find it a problem. You'll realize that even this conversation we're talking about influencer and all that and digital marketing, I'm into it because out of passion, it doesn't really consume me, and it's actually related to what I'm doing in my PhD, because even my thesis will definitely get into social media.
You've already gotten the title for the thesis?
Yes, but I would not say. It's all about social media. It's all about the evolving and the innovation of communication in a social media era. So something along that line. So I don't find it really a problem because it's something that I do daily. And this is what I say. If you are going for your master's, you are going for PhD, do not just do them for the sake of the titles or the accolades. Do something that you relate with daily. It becomes easier and practical.
I agree.
What I'm going to write about surely is what I do, is what I train on, is what I research on, because as a trainer you must also do a lot of research. And personally, I don't mention things that I don't know. That's why I told you for the subscribe on social media. I've not read about it, I don't know about it, so I would not mention. The ones that I'm okay with, the ones that I'm private with is what I talk about. So if you, for PhD, of course the reading part is really hectic. Also the imposter syndrome. You walk into a class and people people
Professor.
are sharp. I'm telling you. And you're like, oh God, I didn't know that word. How come? And you read people's work, you read people's articles. So we try and manage. We say that if you cannot withstand the hard blows, then you're not worth of a living.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And before we get to a close to this particular conversation, I have like a quick fire questions. I have 10 questions, so whatever comes to mind, just answer that.
Okay.
So number one, what's the greatest risk you've ever taken?
To start my own business, I jumped in. I was not sure about it, how it will go. We are still struggling, but we are good.
What's your favorite month?
February.
Valentine's.
I was born on 13th of February. Yeah.
Interesting. So just a day before Valentine's.
Yeah.
So karibu tu mix.
Zime mix.
Ngekuwa El Saba Valentine.
El Saba Val. Yeah.
Which is your favorite word?
Wow. I've never thought about that.
A favorite Luo word, probably. Let me put it like that too.
Hera.
What does it mean?
Love.
Love.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What time do you usually go to bed at night?
I sleep early, 10. I wake up at 4 to read.
Oh, interesting. To read
Every
what?
day.
The Bible?
Reading everything. I wake up at 4, say a word of prayer, and read. I read books, I read articles. I
What
do
kind of books do you read?
Not fiction, some are fictions, but not real.
Interesting.
Like right now, I'm on Outliers.
Outliers.
by-
Oh, yeah, Malcolm Gladwell.
Yeah, Gladwell, yes.
That's the books I read. Describe your style in one word.
Fashionable.
What were you most afraid of as a child?
I'm still afraid of it. Insects.
Insects?
Yeah.
Which insects?
Oh my goodness, grasshoppers. There's one we call Nyapurauma. I don't know, what is it? Praying mantis?
Praying
is
mantis?
It? Oh, yeah, something like that.
Oh, yeah, that this is eaten.
To date, I still cringe.
Interesting. So you
Yeah.
pray over it. What has been your favorite age so far?
Age,
Yeah.
I would say 30.
Why?
Because I'm able to make decisions. I was able to see things as they are, not as I think. And I'm able to, and I am accountable of every move I make, every decisions I make. And I would say that it's the age where you make mistakes, you can correct.
Interesting.
It's different from 40.
Yeah.
It's different from younger age where
Yeah.
people will excuse you for making mistakes.
Interesting. What is one of your nicknames?
Nyasego.
What does it mean?
I was named after my great grandmother. She's from Asego.
Ah,
So
Nyasego.
Nyasego, yeah. Yeah.
What is one item worth spending more money on?
Oof, clothes.
And just finally, money or happiness?
Happiness.
Why? I'd always be happy with more money.
No. Trust me, happiness and things that make us happy are not bought.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's an interesting point to literally,
Yeah.
what's it called, end is things that make us happy are
Yeah.
not bought.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for this particular conversation. I've enjoyed. Hope the audience have actually learned a thing or two about this aspect of influencer marketing, what's it called, using your social media to literally commercialize yourself and commercialize your brand. So I've really enjoyed this particular conversation. Where can people follow you?
Social media, Facebook, Cebbie Koks Nyasego. I have 2. One is verified. Instagram, the same, Cebbie Koks Nyasego with the blue badge. TikTok,
Yes, sorry.
the same, and not the current blue badge. We are the pioneers,
pioneer
where
blue
you
badge.
had,
You are
you had to
verified.
convince them that you actually
You're worth it.
you're worth it, not the one for paying. And also my website, aworkokeo.co.ke. That one is more of academic, and I believe I will
for the
propel
brainy,
it.
the
Yes,
brainy people.
and you can also follow my business pages, Declutter with Cebbies on all the social media accounts, Ritzy Nelba on the social media account. If you're in Kisumu, just walk in, and also Declutter. I mentioned Virtual 21.
Yeah.
Virtual 21, we do training. I need to mention to you that that training is really good. I have done so far 100 people, and they are doing well. It's called Fungua Nakuja. We help you monetize. We help you know how to maneuver social media and how to put your content out there, the packaging that I was mentioning.
Yes.
So make sure you enroll for that training. Our next cohort is soon to begin. The registration is on. Train on how, learn small things. And Ian, let me tell you, tell the youth this, tell your audience all the time, there is no best time to live in the world than now. where resources are just on your phone.
True.
Learn small skills. If you've not gone to school and you don't know anything and you are just a woman, I can tell you people are making money through making nails. People who are doing hand jobs are better than people who are sitting in the office. Why? Because now for example, a nail bar would be earning 200,000 per month. Oh yes, for just that, untaxed, while you're just there saying you don't have. So make sure that you learn a few skills. Make sure that you visible, because we say, I love Keith Ferrazzi in his book Never Eat Alone. He says that invisibility is a fate far worse than failure. Make sure that you're visible. That small skill that you have, everyone around you will know it. Yeah.
Interesting. Wow, my goodness. And on that particular note, thanks so much for watching the show. Hope you've learned a thing or two from this particular conversation. As always, and I'll always be reminding you until it actually happens, 4th of April, we're having our masterclass with Michael Joseph at the Nairobi Cinema. So kindly get your tickets on Manouvre.com for only 800 bob. I'm looking forward to having you there for literally this live masterclass. As always, you're here at the Capital Club, the place you need to be as an entrepreneur, because at the Capital Club, we always say your network is your net worth, and being a part of this particular club, you actually get to increase your particular net worth. My name is Ian Dennis, and this has been the Late Night Business. Until next week, see you right here on KTN Home.